And it doesn't go back to the end step? Yeah, we gotta Sunforger that. So if you have no budget, this is where you get Teferi's protection, and then you untap and probably kill everyone. We don't have that in our budget today. Hey guys, there's 2 great ways to support the channel. All links are in the description below. Welcome back, everyone. Playing some Kellan the Fey-Blooded today. Let's take a look at this opener. A little rough on the lands. It's actually we don't have red. If we had red, I might almost think about keeping this. We're gonna mulligan this. This is worse. Looks like we're starting on a mull to 6. This one has lands. I guess we're keeping this one. Keep this. I am sad about the... let's see. Anyone here have ETBs? That's a dies. Ooh, Hushbringer shuts that down. That's another dies. We're not getting rid of the Hushbringer. Hushbringer locks 2 of these decks. I guess it's going to be Kedis. Kedis is a late game play, and I am actually very sad to put this back because I kind of wanted to get a look at it, but that's not a thing that you just run down there on turn 2. Rule of Law is not at all the card that I wanted to see in this moment. Perhaps later. This is we need to lock the game down. Like, we just need time to be able to kill all of our opponents, and we don't want them running away with the game. That's the point of this card. So if you are newer to the game, this is a skill-intensive card, and it can backfire. You need to be well set up and make sure that you aren't going to die when this gets played. It's also the type of card where if you're playing with other people who haven't been playing Commander for a very long time, they may misevaluate this card and then, like, focus their removal on this, thereby allowing the player who is, like, clearly ahead to win the game. I guess that's true of most stacks pieces, really. When you're playing stacks, you generally want the table to be knowledgeable about what's going on and understand that, like, your stacks piece is keeping someone else in check, and opponents should be taking time to think about whether blowing up that stacks piece is correct and if someone else will win the game. And that's kind of the CEDH mindset more than it's anything, but as casual Commander gets spikier and spikier, you do want to adopt some CEDH philosophy. Maybe not all of it all the time, but understanding your stacks pieces and which ones need to stay on the board and which ones can't is very good technical gameplay that can make or break a game, honestly. Anyway, enough of that. So, Kellan the Fey-Blooded, 3 mana for a 2/2, but importantly, it's an adventure. For 2 mana, search your library for an aura or equipment card, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle. It's literally open the armory on a stick from the command zone. This is the type of card that gets me excited. It is both a creature and an equipment tutor, and that's fantastic. The other side of the commander reads, it's a 2/2 with double strike. Other creatures you control get +1/+0 for each aura and equipment attached to Kellan the Fey-Blooded. Today we're focusing on the Voltron route. I do think that's going to be the easier build than trying to go wide. Historically, decks that try to go tall and go wide at the same time, unless you're in green, tend to struggle quite a bit. Going wide is so tricky. Like, it really depends on whether your opponents have board wipes or not. If they do, going wide is a terrible idea. If they don't, it doesn't look half bad. But it's like, it's just so hinged on how many board wipes get played, and for that reason, I don't love go wide as a strategy. Like, I do have a couple go wide decks in my paper arsenal, and those are the type of decks that I usually bring out for lower power tables, and I tell people, like, yeah, it can do stuff, but it's going to take like 4 or 5 pretty decent cards in play before I can really start thinking about like some sort of lethal damage on someone. Where with Voltron, you know, those 4 or 5 cards, maybe a lot of times it's only 2 or 3 cards, and a lot of times they're equipment, so they tend to stick around a little bit better, and you only need 1 creature in there, so tends to be more resilient against most types of removal. Brings back to our turn. There's another land. There's a Ghost Quarter, so yeah, okay. What order are we doing this in? I mean, I think we do the classic. This is the reason that I'm so excited about this, so I'm pretty sure we can adventure this thing from the command zone, can we not? Indeed we can, alright. Yeah, we're just gonna go for a Mask of Memory, because Mask of Memory. Could think about Sword of the Animist, but I do like Mask since we started on a mulligan. Mask of Memory. Return to the command zone. Oh, that's interesting. No, I don't want to do that. That's gonna run up the cost. We'll run up the cost. Hopefully it doesn't, like, stay in permanent exile. exile or something weird like that. That'd be terrible. But anyway, yeah, when I was in chat earlier today talking about what I was thinking about doing with this deck with some people in Patreon, I'm like, yeah, I'm looking forward to 100% uptime on Mask of Memory. And so far, things are looking good. Oh, what's this? Callous Sellsword. Enters the battlefield, +1/+1 counter on it for each creature that died under your control this turn. Looks like they're just trying to get a creature down there. Not a terrible idea against what we're planning to do. Arcane Signet. That's the one area where this deck is a little bit weak. I did cut a lot of the traditional ramp, so you need to be on the equipment-based ramp, which means if your card draw looks okay, and maybe ours is okay, we had Showdown of the Skalds, you do probably want to be thinking about this as getting like Sword of the Animist or Sword of Hearthenholm. It's going to be a pretty good idea. With all of that, let's play this mountain, play our commander. I'm also not used to playing like cheap commanders. Usually I tend to like big commanders, so like having your turns 2 and 3 laid out before you is kind of interesting and something I hadn't considered for the mana curve of this deck. I do have a really low mana curve for this deck, so a lot of 24 2-drops, 16 3-drops, and then it tapers off pretty quickly at the high end. So for my standards especially, this is a very low mana curve. You guys know me, I always like bigger, ramping, going big at the top end type stuff. We just don't have a ton of that with this deck. Because honestly, I mean, we're a Voltron deck. We're just trying to slam equipment on here. But I did have like an Emeria Shepherd in here that I cut. That may come back. I don't know. We'll see. I am curious to see how this thing plays. This is my first time out with it, so I don't know exactly what it's going to do, though I have a reasonable idea of what to expect. And we got Totentanz, Swarm Piper, came in for opponent. 3 mana, 2/3. Whenever it or another non-token creature you control dies, create a 1/1 black rat creature token with this creature can't block, and you can pay to give target attacking rat death touch until end of turn. Yeah. Tushbringer is going to hit so many things on this board. There's a Gorion Wise Mentor coming in. This is out of Baldur's Gate. Bant for a 3/4. Vigilance. Whenever you cast an adventure spell, you may copy it. You may choose new targets for the copy. Oh, yeah. That seems really good for an adventure deck. Ooh, what does this kill? Doesn't kill that. Could kill these two, but it would blow up our commander. Okay, well, so what we're going to do right here is cast the old Mask of Memory and equip the old Mask of Memory and get down to the card draw. Send this into Xeno. Oh, that's cool. They changed Magic Online. I haven't played in a while. And it shows who you're attacking now, which is amazing. Because there's this period of time between triggers and stuff. Like when this trigger's on the stack, you can't see who was being attacked. And it was super frustrating. Especially when there's like a lot of creatures on the board. Anyway, first hit with Mask of Memory. We draw 2, discard 1. Let's get rid of the Terramorphic Expanse. And we're doing the same thing again. So much card draw. So beautiful. Spine Rock Knoll, you say? Are we ever getting that in? Actually, we could get that in this turn. How risky is giving up the plains? Pretty risky. Man, I like all of these cards. I mean, we're going to have to discard so many things anyway. Ghost Quarter is our only ability to shoot lands, really. Not sure how I feel about that. Maybe we don't need Showdown of the Skalds. Down to 9 cards. If we play the land, we'll be on 8 cards. Still have to discard 1. But I guess we play the Spine Rock Knoll. Definitely not the land. Tome of Legends is decent, though our card draw is good at the moment. Coal is a nice little piece. I think I'm going to go with that. And we have to discard at the end step. I think it's going to be the Sulphurous Blast right here. It doesn't kill this, and it does kill our commander, so it's not useful right now. There's a Mistveil Plains in the deck, so we can recycle it. There is a Sunforger in the deck, which is why I run this. Because so many times grabbing this off a Sunforger can clean out just a lot of stuff and is a very helpful tool. Takashia is welcome. Whenever one or more creatures with mana 3 or less enter the battlefield under your control, draw a card only once each turn. Yeah, sweet card. Unfortunately, if we equip creature gets +1/+1 for each land on the battlefield with the same name as the exile. I was hoping the Urborg would turn everything into a swamp, but that's not how that interaction works. So I'm like, wait, with Urborg out, is this just like one-shot lethal on people? The answer is no. Now, the next thing we want to look for, you know what I forgot? I forgot Fervent Champion. We need to get a Fervent Champion in this deck. Anyway, the next thing we want to look for is some free equips or reduced equip costs. That'll be kind of our next like log jam here. Or like a Sword of the Animist Hearthenholm type of thing might be good too. You want to know what is really good with the double strike cards? There's about 3 cards that like Prying Blade and was it Boomtown Beatstick? That's what I think it's called. Where they make treasures. Forgenew is what you call a free equip. Okay. So what that'll allow us to do is discard one of our equipment to one of these triggers. and that will be a pretty good idea, I think. Let's get the Trailblazers boots in, just so we can spread the damage around a little bit and not be like too overly aggressive on any one player. People tend to not like that. Honestly, I'd probably cut the Spine Rock Knoll. I copied this deck list, at least the mana base, over from another budget list that I had, and this is a card that I used to like a lot, but it's getting tougher and tougher to make this thing work. Games are so quick now. Yeah, let's go to combat. Make sure I read this thing again. New card. Got to be careful with these. When it enters the battlefield, return target equipment card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Awesome. As long as it's your turn, you can equip things at instant, and you may pay 0 rather than equip the first thing each turn. Perfect. Send this in the D, Manny. Anyway, I was talking about my expectations of this deck earlier as a budget deck, and as a budget deck, this is kind of what I expect. I expect that we'll be able to generate a lot of value early, pretty consistently based on the ability to tutor. But as the game starts getting up around turns 5, 6, 7, that's when the board wipes are going to come out, and when people are going to start doing their stuff, and that's when you're going to get slowed down, and actually closing the game out, I think, could present some challenge if there's a lot of removal flying in your direction. So we draw the pick, and we draw Denitha. I did put a decent amount of reanimation in this deck. Pretty nice. Well, I guess let's give up on the Stratascythe, and we hit again. 2 more. Sword of the Animist is a Sight for Sore Eyes. Astor is reduced equip costs. Interesting. What are we getting rid of? Pick will help with mana also. So maybe we're going discard the pick. It's going to be the same sort of story again, where we have to discard. Maybe this deck needs a Reliquary Tower. Hadn't thought about that. What's Thought Vessel at? Thought Vessel might be a good idea also. Want to keep that. We're giving up on this Ghost Quarter. Giving up on the Ghost Quarter. Pray for no lands that we need to shoot. Did just give up our next land drop. Never loved doing that, but we have so much stuff and not enough time to cast it. I mean, maybe you do go Sword of the Animist in the early game, because like right now we're drawing a problematic amount of cards where like we're kind of just filling up our graveyard, but in the sense that like, I guess if you plan accordingly and just put a lot of reanimation in here, not the worst idea. Wing Splicer for opponent. Triggers Takasha's Welcome. Yeah, let's take a look at what our opponents are playing. First up is Illegal Xeno piloting Brenard, Ginger Sculptor. 4 mana for a 3/3. Each creature you control that's a food or golem gets +2/+2 and trample. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, you may exile it. If you do, create a token that's a copy of that creature, except it's a 1/1 food golem artifact creature token in addition to its other types, and as 2 sacrifice it, gain 3 life. Interesting. I have no idea what to do with this, but it cares about food and golems and gives them trample. Deadly Dispute. Oh, okay, then sacrifice a creature, draw some cards, make a treasure. Yep. I would actually like to... probably shouldn't discard the Ghost Quarter. Would like to catch a land off the top. If I haven't talked about it already, yeah. So, being that we have a 2-mana Tutor in the command zone for equipment, Mask of Memory or Sword of the Animist are probably going to be your early game choices most of the time. There might be an occasional situation where if there's like a Fervent Champion, you go for a Hearth and Home. Actually, well, in non-budget, any of the X and Ys with like a Fervent Champion is going to be really good. But if you don't have like some sort of ramp, tutoring on 2, casting this on 3, and then just like running an X and Y down on 4 and not being able to equip it is a little awkward. You kind of want to get that value going quicker. So if you have something that can make that happen, then cool. Probably go for one of those. But that brings us to the non-budget version of this deck, which is, if you're playing the non-budget version of this deck, just run every sort of X and Y, or as many as you like and or have in your possession. They will all be ridiculously good with double strike, even the bad ones. Dika, Fractal Theorist. Magecraft, whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, create a 0/0 green and blue fractal, X counters on it, where X is that spell's mana value. And target creature token can't be blocked this turn. I hate can't be blocked effects. Those are the type of things that kill you late in the game. On alert, target creature gets +2/+2 and untap it. Oh, yep, it's an adventure. And they do it twice. Yep, all seems good. Opponent's going to make some of them fractals also. Yep, that seems good. 2 3/3s into play. Okay. And this is a 5/5. Where's this? 7/7. It's coming our way. Yeah, okay. We are generating value. This is exactly how I expect this to play. You poke people early to get value, and then they get mad and hit you back. There was, at one point in time, there was a lot of interaction in this deck. I cut a lot of things to get this down to 100, so there's a little bit less than there was, but hopefully we have enough to defend ourselves. You want to know what could be really interesting with this deck, now that I'm thinking about it? You could build around very specific equipment, in particular the weird ones. Well, that's a finisher. Maybe a little bit early on that. Wasn't looking for that quite yet. Okay, so I think we go Forge anew, bringing back the pick. If we kept the Ghost Quarter, we could equip the pick and play the sword, and that would make me really happy. I think we use the free equip on this, and we'll think about the sword next turn. Delta hasn't been attacked yet. Pick and mask both trigger. Draw 2. We don't need Denetha in this moment. Oh, Sunforger. Next turn, maybe we think about the Sunforger. There's the treasures. Mask and pick again. There's some lands, finally. Discard the Evolving Wilds. Actually, what are we discarding? Yeah, discard the Evolving Wilds. Play the Stone Quarry. Did not tap my lands in a way that was very smart because I think Forge Anew with Sunforger is probably going to be pretty ridiculous. Yeah, I think this is going to be pretty ridiculous. Let's get the Sword of the Animist right here. I want to leave those treasures up. Or do I? Do we just cast the Hushbringer? This is all based off casting spells. A lot of dice triggers over here, though. Let's keep those treasures just in case. I mean, there's a world in which Hushbringer is definitely the right call. Hopefully things don't spiral out of control too quickly on us here. D-Manny says don't hit him again. The Eternal Wanderer coming in. I feel like that was a spicy card. No more than one creature can attack the Eternal Wanderer each combat. Exile up to one target artifact or creature. Return it to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of that player's next end step. It's actually pretty annoying. Make a 2/2, and the ultimate is for each player, choose a creature that player controls. Each player sacrifices all creatures they control, not of that creature. Okay. They're just going for the 2/2. Erebos Bleakhearted. Really want to get that Hushbringer in next turn. Next turn, we're getting that Hushbringer. Oh, that's a Phyrexian Altar. Oh, God. Yeah. Maybe Hushbringer was the correct call last turn. Well, is that infinite? How's that one work? Whenever another non-token creature dies. You need a third piece of that? What's the... I forget what that combo is. It's been a while since I've seen it. We definitely draw a lot. There's a 1/1 coming our way. Yep, that's going to hit. Sending both Fractals over to the Planeswalker. Should be interesting. Oh, we need to continue on our opponents, by the way. We've got Delta Fiend piloting Totentanz Swarm Piper. 3 mana for a 2/3. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, create a 1/1 black rat creature token with this creature can't block. Give an attacking rat death touch until end of turn. I feel like I already read that. Anyway, that is their commander. And it looks like they're doing Rakdos Rats. And finally, we've got D-Manny piloting Gorion the Wise. We did read this one as well. This is the Adventure Commander. And, you know, blue deck's holding up mana. It is a bad time. Current Sunforger package for this deck is not built to go toe-to-toe with blue decks holding up a lot of mana. Rule of Law, on the other hand, might help a little. Exactly Cyclonic Rift mana. Ain't no Teferi's Protection in this deck. Enduring Angel's a fun card. It almost got cut, but I really wanted to try it. Cast the Sunforger. It resolves. Free equip it. Humanity's got something. Equip the Sword of the Animist. Let's get that going. Oh, that's lethal on someone, isn't it? 16. All right, we'll go to Xeno. If I didn't have Hush... All right, so, like, in a Savage game, I'd probably kill Delta. In this game, I will put Xeno on 20 Commander and hope that the Hushbringer is enough to keep this in check for a turn. I know we could just kill them right now, but we're only supposed to be going so hard. Get a Plains since we're pretty short on Plains here. Oh, you want to know what's funny? We do have a Response Resurgence. Well, now's probably the time for that Rule of Law also. Pick and Mask of Memory. Boros Garrison. Discard Astor. I just don't know when we're going to get Astor in. Do it all again. More lands. Discard the Mountain. Get the Hushbringer so nothing untoward happens. Opponents haven't ramped all that much, so Rule of Law, I mean, it would be good. It would be good, but we'd have to give up Sunforger, and I don't want to leave Sunforger shields down, so. We can't play the bounce land here because we still have 8 cards in hand, so we'll just play this Battlefield Forge and pass the turn. Oh my god, Hushbringer is a 6/2. Yeah, that's kind of the way I built this. There isn't a ton of creatures in the deck. I think it's about 15 or so. 15 creatures, exactly. But yeah, pump it up a Hushbringer to a 6/2. Not bad. Same thing with like a Remorseful Cleric. Oh god, this thing? Yeah, this gets a lot better. Huh. Flying and Double Strike seems a lot better with our commander. Yeah, okay, this one's definitely staying in. So opponent went down to 20 and is at 20 commander, so they will want to think about interacting. Opponents need to play a board wipe of some kind. Although, actually, well, we have Sunforger, so... Oh, right, I forgot. Sunforger's very annoying and difficult to play against. Opponents are conspiring against us. Exile up to... Oh, right. Oh, no. Oh, we have to free equip all that stuff again? Eeh. Hushbringer is still in. Man, re-equipping all that stuff is gonna suck. And it doesn't go back to the end step? Yeah, we gotta Sunforger that. So if you have no budget, this is where you get Teferi's Protection, and then you untap and probably kill everyone. We don't have that in our budget today. Actually, I don't even know how much those are anymore, but I should probably look. Oh, they're $27. Yeah, that's definitely not in the budget. Let's just go with Sajiri Shelter for this one. It's not going to unequip anything, right? This thing is white. Confirmed it is white. Choosing white. They have unequipped our Sunforger. Feel better if I had that Rule of Law in. One thing we haven't drawn is a board wipe. There aren't a ton of them in the deck. Opponent's commander's coming in. That's fine. We are exposed now, though. It's never great. Oh, yeah, lots of stuff coming our way. There's going to be some damage. 5/5 flying trample, 2/2 double strike. Yeah, gonna feel that. I love Redained in decks like this, because especially if she's like your commander or something, the flying vigilance, you can just attack and block. There was a situation in a game like a long time ago where I had Redain and Halvar, and just you can like keep moving stuff on each combat. It was so much fun. Vigilance is slowly becoming my new favorite keyword. It's never going to overtake flying for me, because I absolutely love flying, but I've been really appreciating what Vigilance brings to a game these days. It's like, if this thing was untapped, we could, you know, at least block the ground one, or they wouldn't send it. As it stands right now, we are pretty open. That's a Wheel of Fortune. That's not what I want to see at all. That's terrible. This is going to be awful. We'll see how D-Manny feels about that. I wonder what he's sitting on. We have so much gas in our hand. Oh, they're going to exile the sack outlet. That's a great idea. Importantly, that's not going at our Sunforger or any of our equipment. So that's probably what he was holding. Well, that's gone. He'll get a fresh 7, but as it stands right now. 2 mana Rift. That would also be the... we shouldn't be going that hard in this game. Play. Targeting... our oh no, Sunforger's going to the grave. And we're losing 2 pieces of reanimation? Wow, that hurts. I may kill him for that, depending on how we draw here. So many toys. We are losing. Hopefully we find a Sun Titan. Sun Titan can do all kinds of crazy stuff. Semester's End. Yeah, free value, why not? Gonna lose it anyway. Definitely need a thought. How much is Thought Vessel? $279. Yeah, we could probably squeeze that into the budget. Yeah, based on how much this thing draws with Mask of Memory and Thought Vessel and Reliquary Tower are gonna be our friends. Well, we found the Sun Titan. Great Sword of Tears, also funny. This is an interesting piece. So in particular, it's in here for leave. Return any number of target permanents you own to your hand. If that happens to be your commander, you can cast the adventure half again. So I can't say exactly how good it will be, but 1, it's a cheap card, which is cool. And 2, the ability to re-tutor, not terrible. Akiri plus board wipe is actually pretty good news. Route in general is pretty good news. Route means we don't have to die to all the creatures out here. Sword of Hearthstone is a good one. Doesn't look like they have the mana. 1/1 Death Touch. Yep. Semester's End. Things coming back. Cycles will end. There's an incredible lack of basics on our opponent's side of the board, making Stratascythe not very appealing. Sometimes you get lucky and people play a ton of basics, like in a monocolor deck or 2-color deck, and you can get a lot of damage off of that. Turtle Footsteps. Yep. Make a thing. Fairy Grandmother. Sword of the Animist. Wow, everything in our direction. Gonna feel this. That's 9/11. Gross. Oh, sending the commander also. Well, Sword of the Animist. I mean, we can survive this. Doesn't have a lot of mana on the way back. Could be a counterspell, though. I'll block the commander, because we can gain some life. Oh, also notably, Hushbringer does shut down our Sun Titan, so this is actually the correct call. I almost missed that. Whoo, haven't played these two together in a while. Forgot how that works. Yeah, Funnel's gonna start making rats. No good. We're gonna be sitting on a route. We do need to make sure we have enough mana to do everything. There's a Plains. Yeah, there's a bunch of different ways we could play this turn. Is it worth the +1/+1 and tapping? I don't think it is, actually. As it goes to a 5/5, it does 10 damage. Yeah, it doesn't make that much of a difference. Okay, so that being the case, I think I have a plan here. I'm going to wait as long as possible to see what to do with the Sun Titan. I mean, I guess if we went Sun Titan, well, it's too late now, but if we went Sun Titan, Sunforger. The question is, can we survive both of those at 9 life? I don't know. Really, the issue is the mana with Route. Use the ability. Get another Plains. Maybe we just wipe the... Ooh, yeah, everyone's tapped out. Maybe we just wipe the board sorcery speed. Mask and pick. Bunch of lands. Discard. That one gains life. Might hang on to that one for a second. D-Many goes down to 25 and 12 commander. Mask and pick again. So much value. Ooh, stuff. Okay, yeah, discard the land this time. Make another treasure. Play the Tectonic Edge just to make sure we have it. All right, let's check our total mana count here. That's 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Ooh, interesting. So 13 would be enough to go Route, Sun Titan, Signet, and get back the Rule of Law, making it super difficult for everyone to rebuild. It's not the worst idea I've ever heard. I think that's the plan. We might be able to get this in on the way too, also. Yeah, okay. We could have hasted a Sun Titan. Maybe we wait on the Sun Titan. No, because we need the Rule of Law. Make sure we don't die to stuff. That's unfortunate. I missed that. That probably would have changed what I did, because then I would have went Rule of Law, Sunforger, and started whacking away. Yeah, we have so many things going on that is, we actually have tough to keep track of all of our stuff. Okay, let's get the Signet in. Cast Route. Do we want to get Cole first? How much mana do we have left? We have 7 left. Well, holding up priority didn't work, so I guess that's going to go away. Ooh. Opponent makes a lot of rats. That I did not account for. Back to the command zone. And they're going to have a Sword of Hearthstone. They can put us very low on life. Almost thinking about... do we have to go for the Archon? Really want Sun Titan, though. Erebos is actually a problem too. I think we have to go Archon. I guess that gives us another turn before the Rule of Law. Yeah, I should have waited on the route, I guess. Could have done it at instant speed. It costs more mana though, and that's like we have so many cards to play that just we're up against the amount of mana we can produce. Shout out to Ryan, who plays Archon of Coronation in his Nahiri equipment deck, and it's always really good in there because like he's super well defended, and then if you throw like a Colossus Hammer on this thing or something, you're just like, oh god, we're all gonna die, and we can't do any damage to him. Plus, if you get like a protection equipment on it, then it's even worse. Tasha's Welcome will trigger as some splicers come in. Yeah, I think it's got to be the Archon right here. We become the Monarch, and we'll play the Beamtown Beatstick. I think we have a free equip left. Sword of the Animist is our most expensive, so we'll go for that one. And we draw at the end step. Buried Ruin. Could be helpful. Oh no. Opponent blinked our Archon of Coronation. That's really bad. Opponent's going to steal our Monarch. It's not great. There and back again. Up to one target creature can't block, and the ring tempts you. Excellent. I reminded Delta of the time that I did not kill him on turn 6, because the entire point of that attack was to not kill him, because D-Manny had interaction, and if we attacked Delta, they would have just died. So we're gonna get another crack at it, and we're gonna have some fun. There's gonna be some cool stuff. And so one of the things with these budget games too is that I get to look at cards that I wouldn't normally play. When you run a non-budget list, so many deck slots are spoken for that, you know, how often do you even get to run an Archon of Coronation at this point? Rule of Law, I've been sneaking into some decks here and there, but, you know, maybe we get to have fun with his leave. We'll see. I don't know. Nasty End. Sack creature, draw a card. Draw 2 cards. Yep, opponent's going wild with the card draw now. Vampiric Rite. Honestly, the Planeswalker's really causing headaches for us, so I think we attack that. Beanstalk Giant coming in. Oh my god, it's huge. Ooh, Genesis. Yeah, that's a good card. I guess it doesn't do that much in play. It really needs to be in your graveyard, but it is a blocker. Rogue's Passage is also a magic card. Play the Rogue's Passage in case of another wheel. Sun Titan, get the Sunforger. Sunforger in. Free equip the Sunforger. Give our creature haste. Equip the boots. Oh god, we're gonna be one short. Yeah, that's frustrating. Oh hey, this thing will come back. Well, if we steal the Monarch back... Actually, no, because if we steal them... Well, we can Sunforger the next thing. Okay. Make sure that they are the Monarch. Oh, Delta has it. I guess we're going into Delta then. Sun Titan, bringing back Rule of Law. Where is it? Rule of Law. Use the ability. Take the Monarch back. We draw and are... Oh, I'm an idiot. It would have re-ETB'd and gave us back the Monarch. There's a Remorseful Cleric. There's a Mirari's Wake. Those are pretty good, except they cannot cast another spell because Rule of Law. So for a long time, I've been a champion of Winter Orb, and I actually played a high power game over the weekend in Paper. And, man, Dockside Extortionist just crushes Winter Orb. Like, Winter Orb is basically not playable because of Dockside Extortionist. And people play more Mana Rocks than they used to, and there's some Mana Dorks floating around and things like that. But I think Rule of Law is going to be my new kind of lockout card going forward. It's just been, I've had so many like Winter Orb and Blood Moon lockouts get beaten by Dockside Extortionist that I think Rule of Law is probably the safer bet. So I've been switching back to that for my higher power decks. Opponent's going to exile the Sun Titan. How do I feel about that? We lose Sunforger, if that happens, but we still have our Archon ability. Opponent gets send... Yeah, let's protect it. I think we got to protect it. Wish I put an Ephemerate in here. But Blacksmith Skill it is. Yeah, opponents have ganged up against me. Don't love it. Oh, hey, no attacks. All right, we get to keep the Monarch. Opponent's going to blink their Splicer, yeah. And opponent will draw a card. Search your library for a mountain, then shuffle. Next turn, they get to make Smaug, right? Yeah. When this creature dies, create 14 treasure tokens. Oh my god. Touch of the Spirit Realm. Exile target artifact or creature. Return to the battlefield beginning of the next instant. Oh, man. This is the problem with playing Pillow Fort effects, is that people... all they want to do is disrupt your Pillow Fort effects. It's so frustrating. To be fair, I made a lot of mistakes. I mean, obviously, I could have just killed Delta on, what was it, turn 6 or 7, and then we wouldn't be dealing with the attack that's about to come kill us. I don't know how that shapes the rest of the game after that. It's going to get pretty tricky. Also, oh man, if we kill Delta, that probably stops the wheel that really kind of took the gas out of our hand, right? That extra combat was a big bargaining piece. And then all of it? Yep. Don't love it. This should be lethal. Yep. Exactly 0. Yeah, that's frustrating. I played too nice is what I did. The other thing too, yeah, I made mistakes too. So if I realized that Archon would have re-triggered on the way back in, we could have killed the Wanderer last turn. And that would have probably prevented all of our issues. The Meat Hook Massacre, X4. Opponent's gonna Teferi's Protect. That's probably a game-winning play right there. D-Manny loses some life. Delta goes up a little bit. Bitterhorn, this is Animus coming in. Notably, it is a blocker against this thing. But yeah, both players are on super low life. Xeno can probably finish this, unless D-Manny's got something really good. Genesis trigger. Oh yeah, Genesis is in the graveyard now. That's not where you want it. And they're gonna use it. Fairy Guide Mother. War Room. Ooh, he's going really low. That's a Lion Sash. Equipped to the Guide Mother. Xeno... I think he has enough to finish it. It's going to be close. If he could get like a little bit of extra damage in play somewhere, then definitely have it. If he could like sacrifice an artifact or two, be golden. Oh yeah, +2/+2 and trample. This should do it. Commander coming back. Ooh, and a Tempered Steel. There's one. You don't see that one so much. Yeah, they're giant now. Here come the big attacks. Commander's going to exile a card first. Yeah, Xeno takes it down. That game was winnable for us. I played a little too nice, and I also made some mistakes in there. I'm a bit rusty. I haven't played so much of late. Also, my eyes are still bothering me from LASIK. It is actually just hard to read the cards still. Anyway, as far as changes, let's get this deck in. I think we can update a few things here. I don't think we need Showdown of the Scalds. It's nice. But if we're going for Mask of Memory basically all the time, I think I want to settle the Wreckage in that spot. And then I really want a Thought Vessel and a Reliquary Tower. Stratus Scythe was pretty awkward. I might cut that one right here. But anyway, yeah, I like how the deck performed. We generated so much value. Honestly, I think I'm going to put Prying Blade back in. Because I was thinking about it, I'm like, we drew so many cards that we needed more mana to be able to cast them. So like, I was thinking about ritual type effects like a Mana Geyser or a Seething Song. But probably being on the equipment theme just makes more sense because we can like get these back way, way easier. What do we cut? Maybe Tome of Legends for budget. I mean, Tome of Legends is good, but especially for our budget here. Yeah, we need to cut Tome of Legends to stay around the budget. Okay, so yeah, we'll cut Tome of Legends even though it is very good. And normally I would run it, but if you're getting Mask of Memory with Double Strike all the time, you may not need it. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching. I want to thank my awesome Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome. If you want to help support the channel, vote on which decks I play next, or if you want to get some good games of Spell Table, be sure to check out my Patreon at the link below.